You might not believe that you're capable of developing yourself as a human being. Maybe you feel there's not enough time. Maybe your life's too chaotic to advance to your higher self. Maybe chasing the highest version of yourself feels ridiculous because you don't fit that narrative. You don't fit that culture. You look at your lifestyle, your earnings, what you're doing now, and you believe you may lack the courage. You believe you're not capable of becoming the highest version of yourself. You might even feel you're not qualified to learn certain things in life. But I want to tell you this. You're lying to yourself. Maybe somewhere along the way, you lost confidence. I'm not saying you can do anything you want, but you can just do whatever you put your mind to. You can do whatever you put your mind to. I'm not necessarily saying that, but your mind is a huge factor in who you become, where you end up, and how your life ends up and unfolds. It all starts with your mind. It starts with wanting to want more, even if you don't fully believe in it yet. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you believe it or not. What matters is you don't ignore that feeling inside, that voice telling you you're supposed to be doing something else, but you're not. Don't get caught up in the delay. You've been lied to, but not in the way you think. It's not the news, it's not your job, it's not your friends or your family, it's you. You lied to yourself. You said you were going to change. You said this year would be different. You said you'd start tomorrow. You said you'd be disciplined. Once things calm down, you said you'll show them. Prove them wrong. Take control. You didn't. You watched another month pass. You bought another book. You took another course. You reposted another quote. You gave yourself the dopamine of improvement without the pain of transformation. You confused thinking with action. You confused talking with building. You confused scrolling with learning. You confused planning with progress. But the most dangerous lie of all, you convinced yourself that being stuck is somehow part of the plan. You've been trained to cope, not conquer. You've been sold comfort as a lifestyle, validation as therapy, cheap pleasure as a substitute for power. They fed you phrases like self-care is the priority, rest is productive, go easy on yourself. They sound nice, but nice doesn't get you out of hell. Nice doesn't create wealth. Nice doesn't build you. What they never told you is this: comfort kills you quietly. Not all at once, but piece by piece. One compromise, one excuse, one delay at a time. Until your dream becomes nostalgia, your potential becomes pain, and your spirit becomes numb. This is war. There's a war inside you. Every single day, you know it, you feel it, you fight it. Sometimes you lose. The war between the man you are and the man you are meant to be. The man you see in quiet moments late at night when your excuses shut up and your soul speaks. The one you bury beneath notifications, obligations, and fake productivity. The one who's sick of waiting for a better time that never shows up. That man, the real you, isn't fragile. He isn't lazy. He isn't soft. He's just been drowned in distraction. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another get motivated playlist. You need silence. You need solitude. You need the mirror in the truth. Because the problem isn't that you don't have time. It's that you keep giving time to everything but your calling. You don't need more potential. You need permission to go dark, to disappear from distractions, to turn off the noise, to delete the apps, to kill the scrolling. To stop trying to be understood by people, the man who doesn't need to be reminded to get to work. The man who doesn't chase dopamine. The man who doesn't ask for permission. The man who builds in silence until the results get too loud to ignore. Because the truth is, you're not behind. You're not undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're just unfocused. You're not broken. You're just buried. Buried beneath years of compromise. Buried beneath other people's voices. Buried beneath a society built to distract you from your mission. But missions don't complete themselves. And if you don't take control of your life, someone else will. This is the shift. Here is the shift. You're not waiting anymore. You're not stalling anymore. You're not asking anymore. This is not a motivational video. This is not a pep talk. This is war strategy. And here's the first move. Build anyway. Build with fear. Build while confused. Build when you're tired. Build when you're broke. Build while doubting yourself. Build when no one is watching. Build without applause. Build without likes. Build when it's lonely. Build when it's silent. Build in dark mode. Because this isn't about feeling ready. This is about becoming ready through doing. You want to change your life? Start with 1 hour a day. No noise. No distractions. No excuses. Just you versus you. And that hour, every day, becomes a weapon. That hour, it becomes armor. In that hour, it becomes a ritual. You'll notice the voice in your head starts to change in time when you dedicate that hour. It stops saying, we can't. It starts saying, let's go. And once that voice turns, it's over. The war isn't won overnight, but the war can be turned in a moment. The moment you stop waiting and start doing, become a threat. When you stop waiting, you become a threat. Not to others, but to every version of you that stayed small, to the version of you that procrastinates, to the version of you that says, maybe next week, to the version of you that's still negotiating with discipline. You become the type of man who becomes results inevitable. You become the type of man that makes results inevitable. Because he no longer tolerates delay. You become the kind of man who doesn't brag, doesn't whine, doesn't flex, doesn't fold. You become a gentle beast, a man of depth, silence, discipline, and direction. Your quiet hours start to war. Your absence becomes power. Your execution becomes identity. And the world will ask, what happened to you? And you'll answer, I got to work. So sit, be still, turn everything off, ask the question, what am I avoiding that I know I need to start? Then move, even if it's small, even if you're scared, even if you fail, because that step, that motion, that first quiet, unseen act of rebellion against your old self, that's where everything changes. You may not believe that you are capable of developing yourself as a human being. You may feel that there's not enough time, and you may feel that there's too much going on in your life of why you cannot advance to your higher self. You may feel that this idea of chasing the highest version of yourself is ridiculous because you don't fit with that narrative. You don't fit with that culture. You look at your lifestyle and you believe that because where you are, what you're earning, what you're currently doing, you may lack the courage that you are not capable of becoming the highest version of yourself. You may feel that you're not qualified to learn certain things in life. But I want to tell you that you're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself because maybe somewhere in your life you lacked the confidence that, I don't want to say that you could do anything that you put your mind to, but your mind has a lot to do with who you are becoming and where you will end up and how your life is going to unfold in the future. It starts with your mind. It starts with you wanting to want more, regardless if you believe that you can do it or not, or you believe that, or rather it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if you believe that you can do it or not. It really doesn't at the end of the day. What really matters is that you don't ignore the feeling within you that you are supposed to be doing something and you're not. Don't get caught up in delay. Don't delay things that you internally feel that you are supposed to be doing. I beg of you. And I know you do. I know a lot of people delay great things that they are supposed to be doing. And that is why a lot of people aren't productive. But you can really change your life. You could really build your future for yourself, for your future self, if you really just start doing. Just start doing things without asking, without waiting for permission, without looking for handouts, without looking for validation. Just do it. I promise you that when you start listening to your internal self, before you pick up any book, before you take any lecture, before you watch any YouTube video, before you talk to anyone, give yourself permission to do what you are feeling eternally, what your gut is telling you. Not listening to, how can I say, not listening to so much, like, because sometimes our minds can trick us and our bodies can trick us of telling us to engage in indulging things, in frivolous things. But there is something else within us that we know is the right thing to do, but for some reason we don't do it. That tells you right there that it is good for you to do for the benefit of your future self. You may not experience it right now. You may not reap the benefits right now. But when you just embrace the mundane and you just go through the process and you know that you are supposed to be doing this, you know this is what your life is set out for you to do, I promise you that in the future is going to unfold for you. You are going to experience prosperity in time. There are going to be a lot of people who's going to look at you wrong, who's going to tell you that you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, but it doesn't matter. I want you to listen to yourself before you listen to anyone else, before you read anything. I want you to just sit with yourself, to sit in the room every single day, at least 15 minutes, and just breathe. Listen to your breath. Listen to your heart. Let your mind unfold to you. And really, I believe how you will know that it is the right thing to do as opposed to things that you aren't supposed to do, I believe you will actually be afraid of doing it. I believe that you are going to come up with a lot of excuses. You're going to rationalize. You're going to justify. You're going to blame. You're going to say so many things to yourself. Your mind is going to say so many things to yourself. You know, it's funny because we have this internal instinct of why we should do things and that we should do things, but at the same time, we have this voice in our mind that's telling us has given us all this rationalizations of why we should delay it. The best way to take action is just to not think. Not to think too deep, not to rationalize. Human beings weren't made to rationalize. Our brains naturally will try to rationalize, on the contrary, we actually are not made to rationalize. We are irrational human beings. But for some reason, deep in our minds, when it's time to take action, when it's time to do something that is great, when it's time to become the great ultimate human being that we were called out to become, for some reason in the back of our mind, this type of resistance, this resistant energy, this mentality, pretty much it tries to force us to not do what it is that we know deep down eternally what we are supposed to be doing. And I go through this all the time. I go through this every day. I believe we face this when we first are supposed to get up in the morning, and we wake up, and the first thing that we're facing is resistance. The resistance of getting up out of the bed and facing the cold air, the cold temperature in our room from getting from our worn covers, and we know we got to get up and we know we got to start our day and do everything all over again. But some of us, we will hit the snooze button. We will not get up. You will not want to attack the day. But as soon as you just change your mind and just do it and don't think about the long day ahead, just take it step by step, inch by inch. Just put your feet on the floor. Just rise up and just go on about your day. Just do. Just act. Don't think. Just do it. You will learn as you are doing. You will learn as time goes on. You will make mistakes. You will fail. But the beauty of life is that if we're still living, there's still time for us to learn and to correct what we have missed, what we have got wrong. We are going to experience pain, but pain is life's greatest teacher. We are going to experience the pain through the failure, through the mishaps, through us getting things wrong. But you don't want to experience the kind of pain that we have from delaying progress. You don't want to let your entire life go by, and you know you were supposed to be doing things, and you've allowed time to go by because you kept delaying. You kept putting things off of what you're supposed to do right now for tomorrow. Force yourself to be great. Force yourself to just do the actions, and force yourself to stop being distracted in indulging in chaos. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't need no help. You don't need no self-help book. You don't need no guru. You don't need no YouTube channel. You don't need no educator. You don't need no coach. You don't need no consultant. You need you. And when I say you need you, you need to spend as much time with yourself as much as possible until you start figuring it out, and until you start making progress, and until you start becoming productive and effective and efficient and consistent every single damn day until the day you die. Every day has to be the day that you are consistent with your productivity, not just completing tasks, with you just doing the things and having the vision and the reason and the vision and the reason and the why of what you are doing and why you want to do what you want to do and who you want to become and how you're going to get there. Set out astronomical goals. Have a huge vision. Have a vision that's impossible. Have a vision that you don't even believe that you will be able to live long enough for you to achieve. It doesn't matter if you will achieve that huge goal or not, that huge vision or not. It doesn't matter if you will ever get there. That's the whole point. It is what you're doing, the steps of you leading up to that. Years will go by. Time waits for no one. Time goes by super fast. Year in, year out, you're focused on the big picture. You're focused on the big vision. You are just hammering small little goals, hammering small little tasks every single day. You are being productive. That is being productive. You have a huge vision. You have a huge goal set in mind. That's going to take 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years for you to probably accomplish, and you may not ever see it. But everything that you are going to be experiencing and doing in the process of you leading up to that, that is prosperity. You are going to be living a life well lived. You are going to be fulfilled. You are always going to be fulfilled. It's not going to be so much you set this one little small goal and this one small vision, and it's like, oh, what now? You know, what do you think kept Tom Brady kept going? What do you think is keeping LeBron James going? What do you think is keeping Elon Musk going? What do you think was keeping Kobe Bryant going? What do you think is keeping Michael Jordan going? They are in competition with themselves, and they're being in competition with yourself. That doesn't stop. It never does. For Tom Brady, it was more than just winning Super Bowls. That's why he was always able to keep going. For Patrick Mahomes, it's more than just winning Super Bowls. That's why he's able to keep going. That's why when you see these people, Daniel Day-Lewis, Leonardo DiCaprio, Denzel Washington, all these great people, that's why when you see these people, when they are achieving, to them, it's nothing. It's like, oh, okay, I did that. But the people who's not big thinkers, who doesn't set out for the huge things, who doesn't have the big goals, who doesn't scale, even in a company, something like Apple. You think Apple was so happy when they made their first million? You think they was probably popping champagnes? Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, and Steve Wozniak, I think that's how you pronounce his name. They were popping champagnes when Apple made its first 500 million or even $1 billion. You think they was celebrating? I highly doubt it. Because they were focused on the bigger thing. They was like, okay, cool. We're making progress. We're being productive. We're being effective. That's nothing. Let's keep it going. Now, if somebody who's a small thinker, of course, they're going to be celebrating. Their life is going to be full of celebrations. But not you. Not you. Because you understand what the bigger picture is. You understand how your life is going to end up. You're chasing something that's way bigger than this. That's way bigger than to the tangible eye. That's way bigger than what the outsiders can see. At first glance, before you start achieving and being productive and making progress, at first glance, when you first start off, people are going to start looking at you like you're crazy. They are going to probably curse you, say you're stupid, call you everything under the sun but the child of God, because they don't understand. But you do. And then when you start making progress, oh, they're going to cheer you on. Oh, your family's going to cheer you on. They're going to want to celebrate. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing now. Okay, I got you. But to you, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh yeah, that's cool. I got it. Yeah, it's whatever. You know, yeah. I'm happy. But that ain't it. That's not the end goal. That what separates the mediocre from the greats. The big thinkers from the small thinkers. A fixed mindset to a growth mindset is always going. And you are always going to be joyful and fulfilled. Always. You're not going to have to worry about being depressed and being suicidal. And you see some of these people who have achieved some things and they commit suicide or whatever. And like they try to say, oh, more money, more problems. No, I don't believe in that. I believe the more problems you counter, the more problems you hunt, the more wealth you earn, the more profit you bring into your life. It's not more money, more problems. More problems, more money. It's the way you think. You got to change your mindset, and you just got to be afraid. You don't be afraid. And you have to be willing to make a fool out of yourself and not care about what other people are saying and just keep it moving. because you know in your mind why you're doing what you're doing, and you know what the big vision is, what the ultimate vision is. So that's all I got right now. I thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very soon.